Hello everybody, welcome back to HardReset.Info channel. In today's video, I'll show you the first things to do after setup on your Motorola Moto G45. So, as you guys can see, I have finished my setup and now we are ready to start with things to do after it. So let's click finish. Let's click go to my home screen, and here we have a new phone. So let's start off by going into the settings. So go here and go to the settings, and right here we need to go to network and internet and connect to Wi-Fi first. Let's click on got it, and here select the network that is yours. So now I'll enter the password and I'll get back to you guys. So now we've entered our password. Let's click on connect, and as you guys can see, we are obtaining the IP address now. We should be connected any second, and after connecting to Wi-Fi we will need to check for the software updates. So it's very important to do that first. Let's scroll down until we see the system updates, and right here we need to go to check for updates. As you guys can see, everything looks good, so that means I'm running the latest version of a software. So that's great. If you don't, then I recommend you guys updating it. After that, what we need to do is we need to add a Google account. So we're gonna do it a bit faster. We're gonna start off with the Play Store, so we already set up two apps at the same time. Let's open up a Play Store. Here we need to click on sign in. And now it will check info for a second. Then we will need to enter our email, just like that. Now after you enter your email, it will ask you to enter your password. So as you guys can see, let's finish up writing the email and let's go over to next. As you guys can see, there will be a password, and now I'll see you guys after I enter mine. Now after entering the password, let's select who will be using this device. So these steps may vary here, they are not different that much. So there's only one additive option, and the mouse child will be using this device, but I'm going with I will be using this device as this device is being set up for me. Let's click on I agree. Now here we will have the Google services. Make sure to enable backup device data. Let's click on accept, and here we will have the account. So something glitched out, I will enter the information again, and then we will have access to the Google Play. So now we have the Play Store and we have a Google account. So what you guys want to do is update apps via the Play Store, and let's click on my games and apps. And here in the updates, as you guys can see, we will have all of the applications that are being updated. So I don't have any because I did not choose a backup, but if you did, then you will have the apps right here. So what you guys want to do next is install the browser in the Play Store. So it's very important to do it at first, because once you use a browser you will never change it. So I know this from my personal experience. I've been using the Chrome for almost 5 years now, and basically I wanted to change it, but the design felt much better than the others and I just got used to it. So that's why I just won't ever change my browser. And now if you use Chrome or something, then it's already pre-installed here. But if you use something like Brave, for example, you guys can install it right here. And as you guys can see, now our browser is downloading. So all we have to do is just wait, give it a few seconds to install on our device. And now let's click on open. Here we need to set it up as a default browser. If you want to change it, of course, then click set as default, click maybe later, and click on continue. Here, as you guys can see, we've got our new browser, and we can easily use it, as you guys can see, just like that. Here we can delete tabs, and that's basically what you guys can do with your new browser. So now after that, what you guys want to do is set up every single screen lock possible on the device. So go over to the settings, and here you guys want to go over and scroll to the security and privacy. As you guys can see, the device may be at risk because we do not have the device on lock, but now we're gonna change it. So let's go to screen lock, and I will select pin, but you can select password, pattern, or none, or the swipe one, but I'll go with the pin. So let's go 1 2 3 4, and here we will have a question if we want to hide or show our notifications on the lock screen. So I always use show sensitive content only when unlocked, so we will see the notification, let's say from WhatsApp, but we won't see who wrote something, or if it's a group. We will just see the notification being as WhatsApp notification. So let's click on done now. As you guys can see, the device may be at risk disappeared, and it says looks good now. So go back to device unlock, and here let's set up a fingerprint. So let's re-enter our pin again, and then let's click on setup. Here we need to find the sensor. We will see the arrow here, and now what we need to do is we need to touch and lift our finger. So it might take a while. As you guys can see, it takes a bit, but now we can just go over and be done with it. So now this is the last one, and as you guys can see, the fingerprint has been added. Let's click on done, or if you want to add another, click on add fingerprint, and you can, let's say, add your thumb or your third finger. So now after that, let's test it out if it works, and it does, so that's great. Now moving on to the face unlock, we need to enter our password again, and we need to look at the camera. So as you guys can see, let's click on setup, and I'll do it of the camera. Now we can skip the lock screen. We can also lift to unlock the phone, and now we can click next. So let's click on got it, and here let's test it out if it works. So it does work. I just unlocked it without using a fingerprint or a password, so that's great. Now we have the theft protection right here, and I always enable the theft detection lock because it works like somebody just takes your device and then runs away. The phone will automatically detect it and see if the device was actually stolen. So here we also have the remote lock. Let's click on it, and here we can enable it, but we need an eSIM or a SIM to actually go through. Now as you guys can see how it works, on any device go to android.com/lock, and we will be able to actually change it. So as you guys can see, it's very cool. Now after that, what you guys want to do is set up a Google wallet. So this is also very important because you need to pay with your phone. If you're only using cash, then that's okay, but I recommend paying with the phone. I think it's much better because the phone's always with you. As you guys can see, here we have the apps that I was talking about. Here we can install them or skip them, and I'll quickly use the biometrics. Now after that, let's search for a Google wallet. So here we have the Google Pay, and let's click on Google Wallet. Now let's click install, and we will need to wait around 10 seconds to actually get it on our device. So now let's click on open, and here it will choose an account automatically to use with the Google Pay. So now let's click on view wallet. Here we will have the transit passes, we will have our payment cards, we will have loyalty programs, literally everything. As you guys can see, also the gift cards or a photo. So now what we want to do is we want to go over and add a payment card. So let's click on add to wallet here, click on payment card, and as you guys can see, I've got my card right here, but I need to have it physically with me and I do not have it. So that's why I won't be able to set it up. But basically all you need is those 16 digits, the expiry date, and the CVC code, which is the security 3-digit code right at the back of your credit card or a debit card. So that's basically what you guys can do in a wallet. You guys can also add some transit passes, loyalty cards, and as you guys can see here, we have a lot of it. So basically these may differ because I am in Europe and these are just different stores. Some of them may not be available in your location, so don't worry if you don't find anything right here. And now after setting up our Google Pay, what we can do is we can optimize our battery. So let's go over to settings, and here let's select the battery. It's right here, and we're gonna start off with the battery saver. So I always select maximum battery saver, so let's click yes, and here we can also turn off the 5G. So as you guys can see, we just disabled the 5G, and now what we need to do is we need to go over to optimize charging, and here we will need to skip through all of this, enable optimized charging, click on got it, and it will learn your charging pattern. So it will charge to 80%, and 1 hour before you actually need to use your phone, it will charge to 100. So that's very cool. You can also enable overcharge protection, but then it will disable the optimized charging. So now let's click yes, and now this will charge to 80% only, and once a week it will charge to 100%. So now we can go over and go to adaptive battery. We need to make sure that it's enabled because it will limit battery for apps that you do not use that often. Now here we can enable or disable the battery percentage. It's totally up to you guys. As you guys can see, you can still see it right here. So if you don't want a lot of trash right here, then disable it. And here in the battery info, we will have the information about our health, the charging cycles, first use, and the manufacture date. So as you guys can see, that's basically it. So I hope this video helped you, and if it did, then leave a like, subscription, and a comment, and I'll see you in the next one.